Everyone, this is Lisa Torres here with the Victory Tribe. We want to welcome you to our weekly hangout that we do here every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Tonight, it's going to be fun. Tonight, we're going to share with you how to break the living by paycheck to paycheck, status that you're in right now, the cycle that always continues for you, which is something that a lot of people struggle with. I know that I struggled with it for a really, really long time. When I had a job, even when I transitioned from my job, which I'll share that story with you guys later, but even when I transitioned from my job to building a business online 100% in 2007, at that point, it was still the constant battle of living paycheck to paycheck or living commission check to commission check. And tonight we want to kind of share with you how to break that cycle, of, not getting the kind of results that you want in life, not getting the kind of results that you want in business, and really, truly tapping into your potential, right? Your highest level of potential, so that you can start getting the results that you want. Okay. We have a few guests coming on tonight. I don't know. I know we have one guest on now. We probably have a few more coming in to share their stories. So tonight we're actually going to share our story of struggle, of where we were, where we are now, and where we're moving forward, and to take you kind of along that journey with us. So before we get started, I just want to make sure, let me go to our page here just to make sure that you guys could see and hear me. I just want to do a little testing first. Let me see. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Just give me a minute, guys. Okay, perfect. I could see that you guys see me now, so let me mute. Let me pause that other video so it doesn't blast out your eardrums. All right, so let's get started. It's just going to be a very nonchalant kind of hangout tonight, because we really just want to share the journey, right? Because the journey, really, I believe that when you hear other people's journey and you hear kind of what they went through to get to where they are now, which are, in our case, we have a story that we want to share with you, but kind of, when you hear stories, stories is what impacts your life in many, many ways. And the reason why is because we're just regular people, right? We're just regular people living, just living life. And what most people think when they see other people having success is that, we are some kind of gurus, or we, had some kind of level of training, or that we have something that another person doesn't have. Maybe that person is you. And the reality is if you want to create any kind of success in your life, your mindset has to be ready, right? You have to make the decision that you're going to start seeing results inside of your business, inside of your life, okay? So really, the only thing that's stopping you from living the true life that you want, the true life that you want, is you, okay? You are the bridge. Your mindset is the bridge, and the actions that you take is the bridge from where you are now and where you're going to be. And see, most people, they go through life thinking that they believe that they don't know how to get there because, like I said before, they need some kind of special skills. And yeah, that may be true to a certain extent. But when I bring on one of my partners in crime who started out fresh, who started out with absolutely no experience, who is a busy mom of two, who started out on her journey absolutely 100% clueless, right? And what most people don't understand is that every single person who has had success, whether it's a small success or really big success online, trying to make a living on the internet so that we don't have to go to a job. Every single one of us, we all share the same thing, okay? And that is that we all started from ground zero. We all started from somewhere. And that's the beauty of what we're going to share with you tonight. It's the beauty of, for you to kind of like be okay and be comfortable with where you are, because where you are right now is exactly where you need to be. And wherever that place is right now, it's a good place to be, because you know that whatever level of experience that you have right now when it comes to breaking the cycle of living paycheck to paycheck, or building a business on the internet, creating an income on the internet so that you don't have to have a job anymore, so that you don't have to live the standard lifestyle that most people are living right now. Most people, they're getting up, crack of dawn, really, really early in the morning. They are dependent on going to a 9-to-5 job. For me, it wasn't just 8 hours. When I had a job, it was more like somewhere between 8 and 10 hours, because I had to do overtime to kind of meet, let my, what's the word I'm looking for? To kind of, make some extra money, okay? I had to do the overtime. And so that took out not only more time from myself and the things that I wanted to do, but it also took time out away from what's most important in your life, right? In my life, in your life, what's most important, and that's the family, right? And so when I, first of all, I've been in this industry for the online marketing world. We're going to start there, because that's really like the transition that I had from when I was living to paycheck, having a traditional standard job, right? The job that I was talking about that everybody is usually most dependent on. When I had the job, all I ever wanted to do was not have a job. All I ever wanted to do was, the only thing that I ever envisioned really was to stay at home, be at home, right, with my family, and figure out a way to make the kind of money that I was making at my job, which at that time it was only like $55,000 a year. I wanted to figure out, how can I cover all of my expenses? How can I at least get to that point in my, in this online money-making world, right? Because there's so much opportunity on the internet, and with all the technologies that we have available to us, with all the social media platforms that we have available to us, with all the systems and the tools that we have, that we're using, that is helping us create, that kind of freedom in our life, right? Which a lot of people, unfortunately, don't know about, right? They don't know about. They're completely clueless when it comes to making money on the internet, right? Completely clueless. So when I was working, all I ever thought about was, being able to just wake up when I wanted to wake up, right? Or taking my daughter to school and picking her up, and just being present in her life, versus, me having to have my husband take her to work, or another family take to school, or another family member to take her to school, or someone else picking her up and me not being there for her in her life, right? That killed me. It absolutely killed me. And, I missed the first 5 years of her life, because after I gave birth to her, I was out on maternity leave for about 8 weeks, and I had to immediately return back to work, okay? And I remember that feeling of just disgust. I remember that feeling of, why does life have to be this way? Who made up the idea that we had to stay at a job for 8 hours? Who made that up? Like, most of our day, from the morning till the evening, is consumed at a job. And when I started looking, on different ways to make money on the internet, like many of you have. Many of you maybe, already in an opportunity. Maybe you're here because you're looking for an opportunity. Maybe you're here because you're completely new and oblivious to the idea that making money online actually does exist. Okay, that there is actual ways to create a full-time, if not even more, income on the internet. Okay, so when I got laid off from my job in 2007, that was like the greatest moment of my life, right? Because at that moment, I knew that, first of all, I saw other people making money online, right? I had absolutely no idea how to make money on the internet. All I knew was that that was the last job that I was going to have, right? That was the last job that I was going to have. And so I made a decision that I will never have a job again. I will never have a job again. And I went home tapping my heels. I was super excited, kind of afraid at the same time because I didn't know what the future looked like for me. But I knew that I had this will, I had this drive, I had this desire, this deep down core desire to make it work. And I was going to figure it out. Because if there's other people out there doing it, why can't I do it? And that's kind of the mindset that I had, right? Because I literally saw people having success. And if I saw regular people having success, then that means that I can have success too. And so, from that point on, when I got laid off from my job, I just completely went head on with trying to figure out how to make money on the internet. And so from that point on, it's been a journey, and it's been a beautiful journey. And I'll fast forward before I pass it on to my partner in crime. I'll fast forward to 2 years ago when I still was making money on the internet. I still was, okay, but here's the thing though. I was living commission check to commission check. Just like regular people live paycheck to paycheck. And either way, it's not a good place to be, right? Either way, there has to be some kind of breakthrough. Because at that moment, 2 years ago, when I found myself being 3 months backed up in rent, we had $150 to our name, we had $27 in the bank account, living in a tight 2-bedroom apartment in the Bronx, right? Me and my husband and my daughter, or our daughter. And it was that breaking point when I, my business at that time was not working in my favor. Even with all the hard work that I was putting into it, my commissions every week were going up and down. And I just couldn't figure out why that was happening until 2 years ago when something happened. Somebody told me, a really good friend of mine, he said, "Lisa, let me ask you a question. How much percentage is that company paying you in commissions every time somebody buys something from you? What's that percentage rate?" I said, "Well, it's 25%. And he said, "Okay, that is the problem right there. It's not the fact that you don't know how to make money online and you don't know, the systems and the tools and the processes that need to take place in order to make it work. The problem is that you don't have a compensation plan that is working in your favor." And so that was kind of like an aha moment for me because he was right? I was making really small commissions at that time that I just could not have an income breakthrough. It was just almost impossible for me to have an income breakthrough. And so when he introduced us to the system that I'm using now, that is when total shift happened because the commission structure was high. Okay, we're talking about 70% commissions now. It was high. And so, from that point, when I made the transition into looking at higher ticket programs that offer higher ticket commissions up to $3,000 commissions on the back end, which is something that I didn't have in my previous company that I was out there promoting on the internet, right? There was no back end life-changing commissions. So that if we look at it like this, right? If you want to make, let's say, $5,000 a month, okay? How many people do you need inside of your business? How many customers do you need to get? How many reps do you need to sign up, right? How many of those do you need every single month in order to create a residual income of $5,000? Okay? And when I compared, and this is just my story, but when I compared the numbers, it literally would have taken hundreds of people to do that in my last company versus just, 1 to 2 people in the system that I'm using now. Big difference, huge difference. And so when I saw that, that was a complete game changer for me. That I just did a complete and total shift. And what happened from that point on was that the moment that I made a decision to switch, right, into, marketing something that had higher commissions in the back end, which is something, again, like my other company didn't offer that, that's when life turned around. Okay, that's when the shift actually happened. Because when that happened and when I started getting serious about using the system, my income went from being 3 months back to being rent, struggling, weekly, with my weekly commissions in the other company that I was with, to making $25,000 in my first 90 days and $100,000 in my first 12 months of using the system, right? That's a huge difference. That's a huge difference. And so when that happened to me, I was able to move my family out of that tight 2-bedroom apartment into a 5-bedroom house, 3 bath. We have a pool and a tennis court community. And this is, I don't say this, guys, I don't share this story to kind of impress you or to show off or anything like that. I share this with you guys to show you what's possible and to show you what you might be missing, because maybe you're just a little bit closed-minded, right? Maybe you're just too tied to the fact that, wherever you are right now, whether it be a job, whether it be, your business opportunity that you're in right now, maybe you have this kind of love for it, but really, is that love paying the bills? Is the love paying the bills? Is the love going to make you have the kind of lifestyle that you want, where you could spend more time with your family, where you could pay your bills on time and then have some money left over to play around with and do the things that you love to do in life? Are those small commissions going to help you do that? Is the job going to help you do that? Is your boss going to give you a raise to kind of supplement what you really want so that you can live the lifestyle that you're living? Probably not. Probably not. And that's exactly where I was. So with that being said, I'm just going to go ahead and pass it over to Meredith so she can share her story. Meredith came to me at a point in her life where she was struggling financially in her business. Okay, she was struggling getting leads, making sales. She just couldn't figure it out for the life of her. And I'm not going to share too much of her story. I just know that I'm going to let her share that with you. But what I do know is this. She completely transformed, literally, in less than 90 days. Less than 90 days, just like I did. It was amazing. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and toss it over to Meredith so she can share her story. So Meredith, go ahead and take it away.
Thanks, Lisa. I appreciate it. Hi, everyone. My name is Meredith Dale, and excuse my weird stuffy nose tonight. I'm so happy that you guys are here, that you're taking the opportunity to watch this. I hope you really took to heart what Lisa was saying, because absolutely every single thing that she said is true, and it resonates with me personally, because I'm that busy mom of 2 young kids that she was talking about. So how my story goes is that I grew up as a a kid who came home after school with her own key and let herself in the door. And when I was younger, before I could do that, I stayed after school really late, like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, until my mom could come and get me from the after school program. And I always hated that. I absolutely hated it. I was always so jealous of the kids who were getting picked up by their mom, right? Their mom's waiting right as soon as the school bell rang, right? So that is just something that was inside of me, that I knew when I had my kids, I wanted to stay home with them for as long as possible. The reality of it in today's economy is that we don't live with 1950s prices, where our grandparents, 1940s, 1950s, when our grandparents were raising their children, everything was a lot cheaper. The cost of living was so much less expensive, so women could easily stay at home while the husband did his job, and that was the way of life. But as we've increased in our economy, and the dollar has gotten weaker, and et cetera, you really have to have two incomes coming into the house the more kids you have. So by my second child, she was born a year ago, 15 months ago, and that's her. um, by that time, my husband works. He works 40 hours. He works overtime. He works his butt off, but it still was just not cutting it. It wasn't cutting it. So I knew that I had to bring in income, but I refused to let that dream of mine die, that I was going to have to go and get a 9-to-5 job. I mean, I have an advanced education. I've got a master's degree. I've got all this education. But inside of me, I still just could not bring myself to go and work that 9-to-5 and drop my kiddos off at daycare. And so that's my, that's my emotion side of it. That's what my driving force, my emotion was. Very similar to Lisa, I was in a direct sales company. I liked the products. I liked everything about it. That's why I was in it. But I didn't know how to, I couldn't work it the way that it needed to be worked, because I just didn't have a really large community. So I met up with Lisa, and we started talking a lot about using the internet and using the system that I'm using now, that I transitioned over to. When I did that, and when I really locked arms with Lisa, took my education, learning about this, and about the system, and putting it into practice, everything for me changed. The leads started coming in, the sales started coming in. January of 2015 was my best month so far inside of my business. I was talking to my sister on the phone 1 week in January, and I said, in 2 days, I've increased my monthly residual income by $200. And I don't know of any company where you can go in and start work, on January 1st, and by the end of the second week you say, you know what, boss, I've worked here for 2 weeks, so I need a $200 raise. By the end of January, I had increased my residual monthly income by $400. So it's just absolutely amazing to me that I'm doing it. Like, it still seems crazy to me, because I'm very much a real mom. I very much am sick today, so my business is working for me while I've been sick, for this past week and a half. But yet it's working for me, and the system is just amazing. Lisa had posted on her Facebook maybe yesterday or the day before, what does your ideal day look like? And really today, I was thinking, it hit me when I got up this morning, because I dragged out of bed and I sat down and I started having some coffee, and the kids were going nuts, but there was just no rush for me. As sick as I felt, there was no rush for me to get the kids ready, to get their lunches ready, to make sure they were dressed, to make sure that my infant daughter was ready to go to infant daycare, running in the car, getting them there, then getting to my 9-to-5. I had some coffee. Then, to try and boost my immune system, I rode my exercise bike for a while. Then I was able to just work on my computer and do my money-making activities for the day in, looking as horrible as I look tonight. So, you know, guys, it's amazing that if you're not having breakthroughs inside of your business, you absolutely can when you find the right one. If you had told me that this was real when I was not making anything and when I was standing in my pantry and crying because we couldn't afford to buy groceries as often as I needed to for my son's lunch. I mean, I remember that day very vividly. I was just crying in my pantry because I was so frustrated. And if you had told me at that point, yeah, Meredith, it's absolutely possible to increase in a month your monthly income by $400, I would have been skeptical, but hopeful. And that's what I've held on to, is the hope and just taking it a day at a time and working through it. And it's absolutely amazing. And I don't see ever, you know, an end in sight to it. That's my story, you know, and tomorrow I'm going to be replaying this video for everyone that I talk to, that everyone that's on my list, every one of my, you know, struggling people that are on that I work with and I talk to that are on my list. So I hope that what we're saying tonight acts as a breakthrough of sorts for anyone who feels the way that Lisa and I felt, that you know there's a better way. You know, you believe in the direct sales model, you believe in earning commissions and staying at home or working from home, because it's not staying at home and just twiddling your fingers. I mean, it's still very much work. But, you know, you believe in this model, and I encourage you to just keep on listening, and I'm going to pass it over to Lisa while my brood of crazy animals starts, and my kids start attacking each other back here. But, you know, everyone, I just encourage you to ask questions inside of this forum. Give back to whoever invited you here and ask questions. That's what we encourage inside of the Victory Tribe. And I look forward to talking with every single one of you very soon. Lisa, back to you.
All right. Can you see me and hear me all right? I don't know if I can't see myself.
Yeah, now you're back.
Oh, there I go. Okay, I see myself now. Yes, absolutely. So, you know, as you can see, guys, you know, this whole online marketing thing is really not about the money. It's not about the money. It's about the freedom. It's about you having visions, it's about you having a goal, it's about you having a dream, and then going forth with that, whatever that is, right? And like I said before, you know, again, Meredith was inexperienced, right? She didn't know anything about anything, right? Neither did I when I first got started, right? So if you are in a place right now, if you're in a place right now where you are just, you know, sick and tired of going to the job, right? If you are in a place right now where you're just, you know, you want more freedom, imagine this for a second. I want you guys to imagine this for a second. Imagine this for a second. Imagine you waking up in the morning at any time you want. Maybe you have to wake up a little bit earlier because you got to get the kids ready for school or whatever. Fine, right? If you're a mom, if you're a dad, if you're, you know, parents and need to do that in the morning, great. But imagine this for a second. You take your kids to school. You come back home. You can do whatever you want. You can go back to sleep. You can go work out. You can work on your business. You can, you know, do some yoga. You can go to, did I say go to the gym already? You can go to the gym. You can read more. You can start maybe focusing more on your hobbies, you know, and once you start living that kind of lifestyle, right? Because tonight we're not pitching you on anything. We're not pitching you on a business. We're not pitching you on the idea of making $1 million overnight, right? We're pitching you on the idea of working on a few things: your personal development, mindset, right? And learning the skill sets that you need to make it work online. And here's what most people do. Most people use the excuse of, oh, I don't have the time. Oh, you know, I get home too late. Oh, I'm just too tired. Oh, this, oh, that. When you really should be focused on, you know, how can I, there's gotta be more than just waking up every day. There's got to be more to life than just waking up every day, going to work, sitting in a cubicle all day like I used to do, or whatever it is that you do. Maybe you're a teacher, or maybe you are working in a construction site, or I don't know what it is that you're doing, okay? And you know what? You may even love your job, and that's great. But if you're here because you saw the title, How to Break Free from Living Paycheck to the Paycheck to Paycheck Cycle, there's something more to life that you're looking at. And sometimes people say, oh, it's really not about the money. And you're right. It's not about the money. However, money is what creates the freedom. Because if you don't have the money to be able to quit your job, to be able to pay all your bills, your rent, your cell phone, your electric bill, your gas bill, food, clothes, right? All the necessities that you need. If you don't have that, there's got to be more to life, right? There's got to be more to life than just routine. The routine over and over of just doing just the same thing over and over again every single day, being at work, dying for the weekends to come, dying for Friday to come along. I see people on social media say, oh, it's hump day, it's hump day, or hump day this and hump day, and they're so excited that half of the week has gone by already. They're looking forward to Fridays at 5 o'clock where they can check out of work and enjoy 2 days off the weekend. They're dying for those days. But what if you can focus on your mindset and your skill sets, and while you have a job, if you still have one right now, right, while you have one, you can be working on those things and creating the income on the internet. And yes, it's possible because we're doing it, right? You can create the income, okay? You can automate the process, right? And create the lifestyle of your dream. And this is what we want to help you to do. So right next to this video, there's actually a button. I want you to click that button. And I don't know who sent you to this video. I don't know. We have several people in the Victory Tribe that may have sent you here, right? But if I was one of the people, if Meredith, because we're the ones here on this Hangout tonight, if either one of us sent you here on this Hangout tonight, here's what I want you to do. I want you to click that button to freedom, because that's what it is. Okay? Right now, you're on that page and there's a countdown timer. Let me see what the countdown timer says. You have an hour and a half, okay, to make the decision. Let me tell you a little bit about decisions, okay? Decisions is what's going to take you from where you are now to where you want to be. It's decisions that will either keep you where you are, that will either keep you living the same lifestyle over and over and over again, living that routine over and over and over again. It's that decision that whether you make it, whether you say yes or whether you say no, either way, you've made a decision. Either way, you've made a decision. And if you're making a decision to say yes, to click on that Join Now button that says Discover How to Create Freedom in Your Life, here's what we're going to offer you. We're going to offer you some really cool stuff once you're inside, okay? Your transformation begins in an hour and 21 minutes. There's a timer there, counting down. Your transformation begins at that moment. Because once you're inside, we're going to give you, you're going to have the system. You're going to have the tools. You're going to have the training that we have waiting for you that you're going to get your hands on, right? Tonight. You're going to get your hands on this within an hour and a half, between now and an hour and a half, to make the decision to get ready to create the most extraordinary life that you can possibly imagine. And if you think for 1 second, oh, I can't do this, you're wrong. If you think for 1 second that, I don't have what it takes, I'm not good enough, you're wrong. You're 100% wrong. Okay, 100% wrong. You do have what it takes. The only thing that you're missing right now, like I said before, is the mindset and the skill set to make it work. So if you, let's say you're in a business right now, and you still have not had that income breakthrough, you still have not created the life that you're looking for, the freedom, you still don't have it. And you're sitting here scratching your head, trying to figure out why. We want to show you why. And we're going to show you why once you're inside. So all you need to do is make that decision. Yes, I'm ready to get started. Yes, I'm ready to discover how to create freedom in my life. By just clicking on that button, going to watch the next video tonight, and getting started with us tonight. So again, if you came here, right, if you got to this website because I invited you or Meredith invited you or anybody on the Victory Tribe invited you here, I want you to shoot me an email or Meredith an email and say, I'm in. We're going to be checking that email in just a moment, but I want you to shoot us an email and say, I'm in. Okay? Because once you do that, and I have my cell phone right here, so I'm going to be checking to see who's in and who's ready to get started with us. Because those that say yes and make a decision to say yes, before that countdown timer goes out so that you can get the cool bonuses that we have waiting for you. By you making the decision to say yes, here's what we're going to do for you. We're going to pull you out to come hang out with us and share why exactly you made the decision to join us. Why did you make the decision to say yes to creating the lifestyle that you know you deserve it. You know you deserve it. So let's see. All right, no one yet, but I know they're coming. So yes, so I want you to click that link. I want you to get started with us because listen, how much more, right? How many more days? How many more weeks? How many more years are you going to be dreaming? How much longer are you going to start dreaming about the things that you do want in life? How much longer are you going to do that? How much longer are you going to do that? Give me a second. Haha. All right. Well, here we have Brandon. So Brandon, I got your email. I am going to send you a link in just a second. I'm going to send you a link in just a second so you can come out and share with us why you made a decision to get started. Why this is what we want to know. We want to hear from you guys to find out why you're making decisions to get started creating a life by design. You are the reasons why whatever's holding you back. You're the reason. Hold on a second. Let me respond back to this email and get Brandon on with us tonight. Give me a second. Brandon, Meredith, could you take over really quickly while I send Brandon? I don't know if Meredith, you got anybody who wants to come out and share why they made a decision to join, but
yeah, I do. I want Stephen to go ahead, and he already has the link. I talked to him this morning, and so Stephen can come out when he wants to, but I really want you guys to, what Lisa was trying to say is, again, it's the lifestyle. It was this morning realizing that I'm doing exactly what I had dreamed about as a little girl. Just I knew that I was never going to make my kids do that, and having that realization in the morning is an amazing thing, because it's exactly like Lisa said. I walk my kids to school, and while I see all the other moms tearing out of the parking lot in their SUVs and their business suits and their jackets and their makeup on, I just push my daughter back home. We walk through the park. I get to hear the birds singing. I walk back home, and as she's napping, I'm working on my business, but I'm here inside of my house. So it's not where we never work on our business and we're just at the pool all day long. No, you work on your business, but you're at home working on it. So when you get the call from the school that your kid has an ear infection, you can go right then. You don't have to ask the boss. can I get off? And he's giving you a hard time, when are you going to make it up? All this stuff. You're your own boss, and it's the most freeing feeling in the world to know that tomorrow morning when I get up, I'll take care of the kids, and I just come back and keep working on my business day after day, and the momentum that builds up is a beautiful, wonderful thing. I just love it.
Absolutely, I have to agree. I have been online, making a full-time income online since 2007. I can't imagine what my day would look like if I made a decision to continue on the path that I was, where when I got laid off from my job to just go find another job, right? What would my life look like by now? It would be terrible. Right? It would be terrible. So, Meredith, I want to pass it back over to you, so you can introduce your guy,
Yes,
Stephen.
I want Stephen to get on. He made the decision to do this as his business opportunity. And so I'm going to let Stephen tell his story and jump on, because no one tells their own story better than the person. So, Stephen, it's over to you. I'm going to mute myself right now. Can you? Yeah, there you are. Hi, Stephen.
Hello, how are you?
Really good. Thanks for being on tonight.
No problem. I think the same thing's in the air over here. My nose is all stuffed up too.
I know. You're like
But
this sick hangout tonight.
yeah. So the reason why I got started, it starts back from maybe when I was a little kid. I was, my family didn't have a lot of money, so we kind of went without a lot of things. And I remember when I would go to school and stuff, I'd hate coming back from like the Christmas, uh, like when school came back for Christmas or the summer, because everybody had new clothes and new shoes and everything. But I didn't, and so I made a decision when I was pretty young that I was gonna do something to make sure that this didn't happen to me. When I was older, I was gonna make sure that my family and my kids, they weren't going to have to worry about coming back to school and, not having the things that other kids had. So, as I got older, when I heard about, different network marketing companies, of course, me wanting to do that, that struck my attention. But, when I first got in, I didn't get into the right group of people, and they weren't showing me the correct way, to go about making money, within a network marketing company. Fast forward, a couple of years, I ran into Meredith online, one of her videos, talking about this system that she was using and some of the different things that she was doing. And you know not only was it about just the system, it was also that the people within it were wanting to help me along the way also, and make sure I succeeded, whereas other companies that I had been in, they would give me a short list of things to do but wouldn't help me further than that. But with this system, I mean, it's pretty much you know they take me by the hand, and as long as I do the steps within it, I've been succeeding, and I've been in it just a short amount of time.
I was finding the unmute button. Thanks, Stephen. Couldn't get to that mute button fast enough. Yeah, Stephen, thank you so much. And I appreciate you for coming on tonight, because it really is that simple. I've just seen amazing things, and I appreciate you coming on tonight. I'm going to pass it over to Lisa, because I see that her guy Brandon just came on. So Lisa, over to you.
Yes, yes, yes. This is so exciting, and welcome to the team, Stephen. Welcome to the team. We're excited to have you on here. We're excited to help you create the kind of lifestyle that you deserve, you and your family deserve, right? So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to to Brandon, so he can share with us a little bit about why he made a decision to get started. I know Brandon has, his own family, and he has his own dreams, and he has his own vision, but we want to hear it from him. So Brandon, go ahead and take it away.
All right, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, perfect. Well, thanks for having me on tonight. I'll be pretty quick and brief for you, but the three reasons why I decided to join Empower Network was for the leadership, because that's just been fantastic and phenomenal since day one, since I've decided to join. Number two was because of the knowledge. The knowledge just, I mean, it blows everything else that I've been a part of out of the water. And then number three, I guess the selfish reason is because of the money. The money's just there. You know, you see everybody getting results with it who actually is taking advantage of what they're being taught, which is kind of what separates everybody else from what I used to be a part of. I used to be a part of a very successful offline business that I was able to create, and I've been doing that ever since I was about 16. But the big thing that I was lacking was that leadership to help me get to that next level. I was basically self-employed. I wasn't an entrepreneur. And so being a part of this community has helped me realize what it takes to actually get your dreams to come true. And so that's really why I planted my flag here with this company, and I just know that I'm never going to go anywhere because of those three reasons right there. So I hope that answers what you were looking for, Lisa.
Let me ask you a question, Brandon. How important do you think mindset is? What kind of role does mindset play in creating a lifestyle of freedom?
Oh, it plays the biggest role, I think. My mindset when I was younger was very blame-driven. So a lot of the things that I was able to create, I would take credit for myself, and I would blame everybody for everything I didn't have. And that didn't give me any results that I wanted. So when I actually kind of transformed that and just flipped that upside down and started giving to people before I actually got anything in return, everything just kind of switched. And that's probably the biggest thing about the leadership factory, or the leadership, you know, that we have here, is because they give that to you without any, you know, sugarcoating. They smack it into your face to let you know that you have to start with you before you can do anything with your business.
For sure, absolutely. I mean, I think, you know, we always have a saying that success starts from within. And so many people have this lack mentality, this excuse mentality. All they ever do is feed themselves these negative thoughts about why they can't do this and why they can't do that, or how, you know, why they're not good enough for this and why they're not good enough to do or be that. And the reality is that they are. They just haven't plugged in. They just haven't made a decision to plug into the right mindset information that will help them make the switch to start thinking a little differently, so that they can actually create the kind of results that they want, which is easy to do when you have that mental breakthrough, that mental shift. So thank you, Brenda, for that. So with that being said, I want to bring out another woman who I love dearly, Linda. Linda, are you there? Tell us, why did you make a decision to get started with Empower Network?
I am here, and I just want to say, before I get into why I started, I asked Lisa about a certain strategy I was thinking about. She told me some tweaks to make, and I just got a sale. So excited about that. So what was that, like 2 days ago we talked? It was just a couple of days ago. So I'm so excited. The reason I started with Empower Network is I was working a full-time job. I loved what I did, but the company that I worked for kept like changing the rules on us, on our department, where we'd have a certain schedule, and they didn't take into account that you have family and, you know, whether you did a good job or not. If they decided that you were going to go from, you know, working a certain schedule 8 hours a day, and they would just switch it to where you were working 12 hours a day. And, you know, you didn't have any say-so in it. And I wasn't getting paid that much, quite honestly. And I had made a decision that I wanted to make more money. I didn't necessarily want to leave my job, so I wasn't sure how I was going to do it. And I had been in the network marketing business, MLM kind of business before, and so I was familiar with it, and I really liked the business model and the the opportunity of having, you know, you make your own paycheck, you write your own paycheck. But what I didn't want to do is I didn't want to spend more time away from my family. So the traditional MLM business where you did home parties or you went to hotel meetings or you met 300 people at a at Starbucks all over the county to do a little plan on the napkin kind of thing. I knew that wasn't really what I wanted to do. And when I came across Empower Network, it was like everything that I wanted wrapped up in a nice little package. It was all on the internet that I could do from home, that I could do whether, any hour of the day, depending on how my schedule changed at work. And also, around family schedule, etc. And I didn't have to go all over town doing this business. And it was a lot. They emphasized so much on personal development, which is what I loved about the other companies that I was in. I would keep on with that stuff long after I got kind of disillusioned with the company. I would still want the personal development. And so that was the other thing too, is when I found out that Empower Network was really wanted their affiliates to have personal development and taught that that's how it all starts. That's when I knew it was just something that fit me perfectly. And that's how I got started.
Absolutely. And you know what? Okay, let's go back to what you just said. You said right before you got on this hangout, we spoke a couple of days ago, you said you made a little tweak and you made a sale. How important do you believe mentorship is?
I believe
but
that
not only mentorship, sorry to cut you off, but not only mentorship, but the fact that in order for someone to get a result, they have to do. That's it.
Right.
They have to do it.
Right.
And some people think that they're going to sign up for these different programs online and different business opportunities and try this and try that, and they're going to sit back with their arms crossed thinking that it's just going to magically work on their own. You didn't make a sale because it just magically worked on its own. You made a sale because you are working the business. You're working it. So go ahead.
As far as mentorship goes, it's a double-edged sword. You can have success without having a great sponsor that maybe they're MIA. Maybe they're a person that they sponsor you and they don't ever talk to you again. They've made their money, they go on. And you can still you get your mentorship however you can, and you do whatever you can to make it successful. You can't blame the fact that your sponsor is MIA. You have to find what you need, and if it's videos or if it's another mentor in the industry like I did with Lisa, I really connected with her and I really resonated with her, and so it's connecting with her that really skyrocketed my success into really starting to get the success that I've always wanted in this type of business. And but you have, like you said, you have to do the work. I can't say, hey, what about this? And Lisa says, well, I suggest you maybe do this and this, and think about this and this, and think how you can fit that into all of this whole thing, and then not do it. It's not going to give me success. Or if I go, oh, I'm not going to listen to her, I'm just going to do what I always did. Well, those two things are not going to get you the success. She's getting success. She told me how to tweak a couple of things. I went and did it, and it took me a while because what we were talking about has kind of a big setup process. After the fact, it's kind of not a big deal. It doesn't take a whole lot of time to maintain, but it is a big deal to set it up. So it took me a while to get it set up, but then once it was set up, it's been less than like 48 hours and I've already made a sale. So, you need to listen to your mentors, but you also need to do what they say.
Absolutely. And see, that's one of the things, one of the reasons I believe that a lot of people fail is because they're dependent on their sponsors, they're dependent on their upline, they're dependent on their mentors, their leaders, they're pointing fingers, blaming everything and everyone about why they're not having the kind of success that they're looking for, even if it's just one sale, right? Even if it's just generating one lead on the internet. So when you really look at that, you know, those type of people, I think the thing that's holding them back the most is the fact that they just don't do. They'd rather sit here and make excuses and point fingers and not actually do the work. I mean, picture this for a second. You get hired for a job. You go to the job and you just sit there and expect to get paid at the end of the week, right? That's not going to happen. They're going to fire you, and you know that'll be that for you. They'll just get someone else, right? So if you're gonna get paid at your job, you got to work. You got to show up and you got to do the work. If you're going to get paid in your business, especially when doing it online, especially with entrepreneurship, you have to work, okay? It's no different than having a job, okay? You have to treat, and I sometimes I hate to say this, but you have to kind of treat your business, excuse me, you have to kind of treat your business like it is a job. Excuse me, I'm like choking on my spit over here. You have to treat your business like it's a job, and unless, you know, if you have a full-time job, treat your business like you have a part-time job. You know, if you want to create any kind of success in anything, whether it be creating an income online, create part-time, full-time, whatever, $100,000 a month income online, whatever it is that your goal is, you still have to show up and do the work. Because the work, you know, it's not just going to magically happen for you. You have to show up and do the work, and unless you're willing to do that, you're not going to have the success that you're looking for, okay? Unless you understand systems, unless you understand the certain tools that you need, unless you understand the kind of processes that you need to have, you know, a successful business running on the internet, just like any franchise, right? You've got all these, let's say, fast food chains, right? They don't run just because of whatever. They run because there's a system and a process in place, and that's how you have to treat your business. And yes, it may take some work on the front end. Like I know for Meredith, it took her about, you know, a week to get her system set up. But once she was set up, the whole process was automated, and now all she's doing in her business is, you know, basically maintaining it. She's showing up every day and maintaining her business, okay? So I don't want you guys to feel like you have to intimidate it, where you have to feel intimidated, because the feeling of intimidation is what's going to hold you back. That's what's going to hold you back. But knowing that you have to show up and do the work and just be laser focused, get it out the way, just do it, and then watch the fruits of your labor. Like Linda had her sale today, right? She put in the work first, no matter how long it takes you. You know, Meredith, it took her a week, right? Meredith, if you're there, I can't see your face, but I know, like I can't see your video because you have it turned off, but if you can hear me, I don't know if you walked away from the computer, but if you can hear me, could you just let everyone know, you know, how long, when you first got started in our system, how long did it take for you to actually get the system up and running, and what happened the moment that you started, you know, implementing or automating it and just having it running, and what your business looks like now that you have it running on its own, and all you have to do is show up for maintenance every day. Tell me that process and what that's looking like right now for you.
Sure. So it took me, you were exactly right. It took me a week to set it up. I set a strict deadline for myself that I wanted to have it up and running within a week. So that's exactly what I did. The first day that I let it go on complete autopilot, within the first hour, my leads started coming in. I remember I wrote you, you know, that funny email or the text when I was like, oh my gosh, Lisa, you know, it's happening. This is crazy. So within 48 hours, I had my first 89 leads online. This is going from a woman who had nothing, no list, not even a Facebook page. I mean, come on. When I say I was like new, I mean, I was new. So yeah, 89 leads within 48 hours. The third day was when my sales started coming in. I think like the fourth or fifth day, you know, I had 2 sales in one day, and ever since that day, it really has been on average about 30 to 40 leads a day. You know, and that's on average because I have really high days as well, and then a sale sales every week, definitely for sure. I mean, we could talk numbers, but just what it's done for my business is I'm sponsoring and bringing people onto my team that I'm actually helping. I mean, that's just amazing for me that I'm actually able to help these people turn their business around. That's what gets me. That's what drives me every day to show up for my business, is because I know people are struggling so bad. And so if I can show up and get my reach out there to help another person who doesn't have to struggle anymore like I was struggling, that's what motivates me every day. And I'm just excited that that it happens every single day. I talk to another person. I get another member, member, client, person I work with, whatever term you want to use. They're just important to me. And so that's what it's done for my business, and that's on autopilot. That's not if I'm here sitting at my computer, physically working on it, which I do. I try to do every single day, or like when I was doing last week, sick as a dog, laying in bed, not doing anything, and leads are still coming in. So definitely it's a system that works on autopilot, and then it works on super autopilot when you work it. Of course, what you need to do.
But you were in bed, the leads were coming in, and so were the sales.
Yeah, it's
so
true.
Were the sales.
It's definitely, I mean, that's a lie. It's definitely true.
Absolutely. So here's what we want to do, guys. We want to invite you to lock arms with us. We want to invite you inside of the Victory Tribe, inside of the Power Network, which is a viral blogging system. We want to show you things that you probably have never seen before. Maybe you've heard of it before. Maybe you've tried it before and it didn't work. But we want to show you how to really make your business, how to really change your life, how to create the kind of lifestyle that you're looking for simply by plugging into a system, simply by utilizing some tools, simply by plugging into some training so that you can, start working on creating that full-time income so that you can quit your job. Like, that's the end goal. My goal for you, my goal for everybody on this panel tonight is to help you guys, right? To help you create whatever it is that you're making at your job right now, if you still have one, whatever that number is. I want you to tally up, and I tell this to my people all the time, tally up exactly how much is it that you need every single month in order to pay your bills, in order to have all the bills covered, in order to have food on the table, and maybe even have a little extra money to play with every month. What does that number look like? Because it's not $20,000 a month. It's not $100,000 a month. It may not even be $10,000 a month. It could be as simple as $3,000 or $5,000 a month, maybe $2,000 a month. I don't know what it is, but whatever that number is, I want you to write it down, and I want you to click that button right next to this video. Get inside of our community so that we can help you work on getting to that number, so we can help you leave your job one day soon. All right. So with that being said, we are here for you guys every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, just sharing stories, sharing strategies, sharing breakthroughs that a lot of people in our community are having because they're plugging into the things that they need to be plugging into. So that being said, click the button. We'll see you inside, and get ready for some serious training and life transformation information for you inside of your business and your life. With that being said, good night, everyone. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out with us tonight.
Thanks, Lisa. Have a good night.
Love you guys, and talk to you later. Bye.